It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to inspire, our mission is to empower, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute the big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And the one thing I do know is to execute a vision, well, it's going to take some moolah. And we have the one and only LaWanna Bradford here this morning, this afternoon, to help us do that. And she's someone I've known now for, I think, about 4 or 5 years, had the opportunity to chat with her a number of times, and she's an amazing human being. So let me first say hello, LaWanna. How are you?
I'm doing great, Shay. How are you? And thank you so much for having me.
Well, where are you in the world? Thanks for being here today. Are you in Atlanta? Are you in Phoenix? Where are you in the world these days? I'm always just curious.
I am in Arizona right now.
I keep saying Phoenix. It's Arizona. Arizona is bigger than that little small part called Phoenix. But here's the question I have, and I'm so glad you're here today because you have this conversation we're going to have, which is how to use the CAR in order to generate momentum in the business. But I first want to know what you've identified as one of the problems that's facing businesses today in terms of even getting momentum, right? Because you think about, they got all the YouTube videos in the world. They have all the internet in the world. They've got so much stuff to read on Instagram and they're bombarded with email and text messages. So why are they struggling to get momentum in the business? And what's the most important area they struggle with the most?
I think the most important is lack of decision. In order to even begin to move, you got to be ready to prime the pump. It takes action and you have to decide. And as you said, we are bombarded with so much information out there. It's information overload that it's easy to stay permanently distracted. And I think that's the biggest struggle that entrepreneurs face, is chasing the greatest, latest shiny object, looking over your shoulder or looking to the left and right and seeing what other people are doing and wondering why are they farther along, instead of being committed and focused to your why and to your target and staying in your lane and deciding that failure is not an option.
Failure is not an option. I can't wait to talk about the CAR principles. But folks are looking over your shoulder because, you know, I'm nosy, they're nosy, and they're saying, wait a minute, Shay, what is this whole slogan, making a difference? Now, it says it right there, the Bradford Group. So you've got to give us the mission, goals, and objectives of the Bradford Group, by the way. And why those 3 words? Why is that important to them? I put it up so they can see it right now. But it's making a difference. Talk to us about that, please.
The reason why we came up with that 17 years ago when our company started, we're a commercial and investment mortgage brokerage, is we found so many communities of color that were struggling to have home ownership. I mean, even if you're thinking about home ownership, I can't even think about investing in real estate if I don't even know how to buy a home. So we said, in order for us to make an impact, we have to be willing to make a difference. And that difference is through educating, through showing where opportunities exist, and through guiding individuals with the tools and strategies to get to where they ultimately want to be. And every single client, our goal is, whether they choose to do business with us or not, that at the end of the day, we've made a difference. They're more informed, more educated, more empowered to make the best financial decision for themselves and their families.
You know, you've been doing this. You've been helping folks for a number of years now, and we certainly appreciate that, which is pretty cool. Give us the definition of the CAR principles, since we now understand we need the momentum. We now understand the challenges. The CAR principles. What does CAR stand for? And what are these principles that are going to help us really build momentum in our business?
Well, CAR is an acronym that first stands for C, clarity of focus. A is establishing your authority. And R is having the resources and relationships that you need in order to move forward. We can go far by ourselves, but I truly believe we can go farther together. So each individual is empowered by looking at the car and saying, well, what does my car look like, right? You may be driving a Mercedes. I may be driving a Bentley. But at the end of the day, their objective is still the same, to get us to where we want to go. So the first thing is really being able to define your why and where are you going, and being wedded and committed to that destination. And then establishing your seat of authority. I mean, how are people going to do business with you or build strategic partnerships with you if they don't even know you're in business? And Shay, I find that so sad. I talk to so many entrepreneurs and I ask them, how many members of your family even know what you do in business? And more often than not, they say, well, they know I'm doing my thing. They say I got my hustle going, but no one really knows what they do. So if you are quiet around your family, your biggest cheerleaders that are going to be around you in your life, do you really think the world's going to stand up and applaud you? And then when we talk about R, it's really creating those relationships. And through relationships, you will be introduced to the resources that you need in order to start scaling and building and expanding.
You know, one of the things I've admired about you is you talk about cars. I've admired your ability to be able to work with multiple groups from different backgrounds, different experiences. And I want you to talk for a moment about the power of collaboration. Yes, car is important. And I'm going to have her talk about wealth. And she gave you the principles. But one of the things that I admire about LaWanna is I see her collaborating and partnering with other folks in her business. And I want to talk about the power of collaboration and why that's so important.
Well, one of the things, Shay, that you often say is collaboration crushes competition. And that is so true, because when you're collaborating, you're focused on your strengths, right? And what you're bringing to the table and how you can serve. And if you're partnering with individuals that have that same mindset, think about how rewarding that is, how much farther that you can go. And I tell individuals to not be afraid if someone's doing what you're doing. That's a good thing. It's iron sharpening iron. I have a lot of mortgage partners. They can take my clients and I can take their clients. But you know what we're doing? We're talking about what's happening in the economy right now. We're sharing with each other the principles that we're applying so that we don't drown, so that that we're all able to win in this crazy economic climate that we're currently in. So I just encourage you to not be afraid if someone's doing what you do. That's a good thing. Get to know them, build a relationship, and think about when you partner with that person, the opportunities that exist, right? Now you're tapping into shared markets, shared resources in order to make a bigger impact, a bigger influence that ultimately will generate bigger income for you.
You know, where did this come from? What was the origin story that made you say to yourself, maybe there's an experience in your life that led you to saying, you know, I'm going to help other folks. I'm going to help them be able to generate wealth. I'm going to help them create a legacy that they can leave when they transition from this place called Earth. I'm going to make it a place that is so much better. So I guess the question is, where does passion come from to help folks create and build wealth?
I think first it came from my greatest influencer and still my mentor and coach today is my father. He's 92 years old and he's always just encouraged me to look beyond myself. It's like, how can you help? How can you serve? And I've always wanted to be able to touch as many people as he's touched in the world. I'm nowhere close yet, but it's something that I'm aspiring to. But then I met a person about 30 years ago named Jim McCracken. And I always encourage you, if you meet someone who's where you want to be, get ready to ask the intelligent question. And so I said, Mr. McCracken, if you were to tell me one thing, he's a multimillionaire, what would you share with me? I said, I just want one piece of wisdom. And he said, well, that's easy. Never, ever pray for money. Pray for knowledge and wisdom, and the money will come. And I knew that through a life of service and pairing that with the knowledge and wisdom, which is obviously going to come from other people, right? I'm not going to have it all. Then this passion to help others would just naturally come out of it. And this has been a journey, Shay. It wasn't like overnight, whoa, LaWanna has it. This is decades of walking this and checking myself in so many areas where I'm thinking, I got this, and realizing, no, you don't. You really don't.
as you know, because you've been on the other side. As folks are listening and watching, they're like, "This is powerful. This is something that I need, something that I can apply." And even if you heard it before, the question is, how are you applying it, and at what level are you applying it at? But they're thinking the question, LaWanna. When's the time in LaWanna's life? She's got it perfect. Dad was able to mentor her. That's kind of cool. She's on this mission. That's even better. And for decades, she's just been on the straight and narrow. Shay, I've had some challenges in my life, right? I've been laid off, or hey, Shay, I've been hit with a health crisis, or hey, Shay, as you're listening right now, there's been something that's rocked me. Has there ever been a time that LaWanna has found herself in a situation where there was some type of challenge or setback, and how did she bounce back from it? And what's the lesson she would share with me? So you got the question. You know how to take it. Over to you now.
Oh yeah, there've been many challenges, and I led a charmed life for quite a few years, and then 2007, 2008 hit. And for those of you who may have been around then, you know what that was. That was the economic mortgage crisis. Well, I'm in mortgages. So at that time, I lost almost everything. And I literally had to call mom and dad to say, I need help. I've got my creditors after me, because I'm a business and I have my business obligations. And and my dad said, well, sell your home. I'm like, Dad, that's the only thing I have left, because I had literally lost everything. And I had taken my retirement, which you should never do. I took my investments for my future and started paying my staff because I didn't want to let them go. I wanted to sustain them as long as possible. Well, $1.5 million in retirement dwindled down to $7,500. I go to mom and dad. I'm like, I need help. Mom and dad not only paid my mortgage, but my brother, who was in the mortgage industry at that time, they were able to pay both of our mortgages. Now, I know everyone isn't as blessed as that, but it's pretty scary when you really don't know how you're gonna live. My parents said, we will pay for your mortgage, we will pay for your utilities, and we'll make sure you have food on the table. All this other stuff, it's on you. Well, guess what? Chase Bank ended up suing me. I couldn't afford an attorney. I went to my parents. They said, nope, we told you what we were paying for. I went to a friend, so this is collaboration, who I knew had gone through some similar challenges in the past, and they told me how to represent myself in court. I represented myself in court against Chase Bank, and I won. Fast forward a couple years, my husband and I end up getting divorced. Then after the divorce, I'm diagnosed with cancer. And then I'm dealing with aging parents, and dad has a stroke. So that's why I'm living both in Atlanta and in Arizona. And so the question is, how did I overcome all of these? Well, I think it starts in good times. It's those seeds. It's what you're putting in your spirit. And I have a fighting spirit. I have grit and determination in me. And when you are going through hell, because it literally was hell, if you don't have something to pull out of you, you're going to drown. So it's during those good times, like we think about the grasshopper and the ant fable, right? The grasshopper is busy playing in good times, but the ant was busy storing for winter. Well, that's the same thing we have to do. What is your emotional story? Are you storing up when the tsunamic episodes in life happen? Are you creating your place of resiliency, that when those winds blow, that you can tap into it so that you don't drown, so that you can hold on and have hope that this too will pass? So that's how I've been able to survive. Is life hasn't always been a bed of roses. I've been tremendously blessed, but I've been tremendously challenged as well. And I just thank God that I just keep looking up, keep trusting, and keep embracing the now, because I don't look at what may happen. I look at what is happening right now. Right now, I have life, I have breath, I have family and friends. Can't get any better than that.
And we have you here on a Happy Entrepreneur Show. It doesn't
Yes.
get any better. And I agree. I mean, I know he's going to add that on there, so I just, I want to make sure I add that. But I couldn't resist that. You also have this passion that, aside from helping folks build wealth, aside from helping them gain momentum in their business, aside from the car principles, which is really building their digital media platform, I'll call it that, and being able to use the power of the fiber optic lines that we have right now to be able to expand their business, which most folks would think, how in the LL Cool J did she get into that field over there, right? Because she was doing this. So, do you mind taking a moment? And for the entrepreneurs that are out there, I guess the question I'm going to ask you is, how are you able to continue to expand your comfort zone and move into places and spaces that you might be learning or navigating when it could be uncomfortable, but you're a maverick. You're what I would consider a maverick. You go do it. You go against the grain. You say, well, if if it hasn't been done, but I believe it can be, you're going to do it. So question, two folds. Number one, how do you continue to expand your comfort zone so we can benefit from that? And number two, tell us all about this cool thing you're doing by sharing stories on a platform like this so people have a voice. Because I think that's one of the legacy pieces. I mean, you'll leave a lot of money behind, I'm sure, and all that, but I think the legacy pieces you'll leave are the messages and stories you're gathering now. And I think that's so cool because it inspires me.
I think the first part of the question was, how do I expand and do more, right? And my prayer every day is that I am better today than the day before, that I am seated in a place of humility so that I may be used for the betterment of humanity. And some of those opportunities I'm thinking about that I want to achieve, but others are coming at me where I never even thought about. My Celebrate You Women Embracing Her Wellness community is not something I ever envisioned for myself. And that's a community where we inspire women to take hold of their truth and their voice in order to be the change they wish to see in the world by first loving and embracing themselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. That was never in LaWanna's head. Someone saw something and I became the vessel, the messenger, if you will, for this. And I encourage anyone that's listening to be willing to be the vessel. Sometimes your ideas are merely a knock at a door for something even greater that you couldn't even imagine. But if you stay in your box of this is all I can see and this is all that I want, I really don't believe that you're living life to the fullest that was intended for you. You're living in part because you're only living in your limited lens. But when you say, you know what, use me, let me serve, let me be expansive, I don't know where that's going to take me, but I know I'm excited about it every day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. How can folks connect with you? I mean, well, two-part question. One, since you're being so transparent, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days? If any at all, right? So number one, what type of clients and are you looking to work with? And number two, how can folks best connect with you? And yeah, that's important. And you at home, tune in, listen in right now.
Individuals can connect with me on all things social media by my name, LaWanna Bradford, or Instagram, the LaWanna Bradford. So 2 lanes of clients. If you are looking to invest in real estate, to build your commercial portfolio as a lane for wealth generation, that's where I come in. I'm looking to provide our team education resources, but also the funding for you to build your generational wealth. On the other side is our consulting part of the business, and that's where we work with big business, and I'm talking about your top corporate firms, government agencies, but now we're really focusing on the entrepreneur because that's the bread and butter of our economy is the small business owner. And our goal is to help provide you with the strategic lens in order to be successful in business. It's not, strategy isn't about, let me do this check mark, but it's really a shift in how you think. It's about a commitment to your direction. It's taking that car principle and holding on and buckling up for this amazing ride called you.
The amazing life called you. You're listening to the one and only LaWanna Bradford. I'm going to suggest that you all connect with her. It'll be a good use of your time. We know we have a segment here, LaWanna, called Today is My January 1st. I know that sounds good. And I know some of you are here every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go ahead and say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, today is my January 1st represents a fresh start It represents a do-over. It means that my past no longer equals my future, that you don't have to wait till December 31st on the back of a napkin, if you have a napkin, at 11:59 p.m. and get excited after a couple of drinks, obviously. No, no, no. Today is your January 1st. And so my question to LaWanna is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And more importantly, what are your words to encourage and to inspire those folks that are watching, that are listening now?
What I hear is every day is my January 1st. Every day is, as the scripture says, it's new every morning. It's a refreshing, it's a rejuvenation. And it's how you choose to show up in life for you first. And when you can show up full on committed to you, oh my gosh, the world is your oyster. They're waiting to receive. They're hungry to receive from you. And so I learned in every single day, my January 1st, Shay, is to wake up, first giving thanks to God, and then applauding the heck out of LaWanna Bradford.
I like that. Who was it? Snoop Doggy Dogg? I want to thank me for all my hard work.
You have to, and there's no shame in that. There is no
like
shame saying, I love me, I can celebrate me. We're taught to not embrace ourselves. There's something wrong with that thinking.
Yeah. I agree with you. First, let me say two things. One, tell the folks how they can connect with you again. I want to say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. What you're doing makes a difference. I mean, helping us generate wealth, which allows us to have better health care, allows us to take care of, you said, aging parents, take care of our own family, send our kids to a school of our choice, and more importantly, fight for the causes. With all the craziness goes on in the world, no matter what side you're on, left side or right side or Democrat or Republican, or want to have war, not want to have war, want to wear a mask, not wear a mask, whatever it is, no matter what side you're on, you have the resources that allows you to stand for what you believe in and fight for what you believe in. So thank you so much for all you're doing. You're going to make future generations a heck of a lot better off. And then tell folks once again how they can best connect with you.
Yes, you can connect with me, all things social media, LaWanna Bradford, and Instagram, the LaWanna Bradford. And I got something for your guest.
Yes, give them something. Go ahead.
Yeah, my birthday was just last week, so this is in celebration of my birthday. My birthday is.
Should I sing happy birthday to you? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, LaWanna. Of course, I can't sing, but I can carry a tune. I do the best I can.
You. But the first 20 of your listeners who reach out to me, DM me on Facebook or Instagram with the word Happy Entrepreneur. First 20, because you'll be dealing directly with me. We will sit down and have a deep dive into your car principle. I promise you, once you identify your car, your clarity of focus, your authority, the relationships and resources that you need, you will have the foundation in order to build the momentum for your life and your business. So the first 20 people that DM me on Instagram or Facebook, the LaWanna Bradford or LaWanna Bradford, and you put Happy Entrepreneur, you will get 1 hour with me so we can do a deep dive and make it happen.
Wow, that's an amazing gift. Thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the value is, probably $2,500 to be in that type of conversation to talk about and pick her brain. And I would suggest you do that, by the way, because the way she is now on the other side is the way she is every single day. So I promise you it'll be a good use of your time. Now, with that being said, let me thank all of you for tuning in on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate every single one of you. Without you, there is no show. So thank you so much. I know for a fact that today is your January 1st. I believe that you are already awesome. You're already amazing. And for you, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this, though, by the way, time is long. Life, on the other hand, is very, very short. So you got to live in that moment and you got to make it count. God bless, and we wish you success. Thanks a lot, LaWanna. I appreciate you. Appreciate all y'all watching. We're out of here.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.